Good morning, everybody. Wow. It's Tuesday. It's not Monday, it's Tuesday. That's right. I took off yesterday. I was exhausted from the Christmas time. It was exhausting. I don't know how Santa does it. But you're listening to the Cindy Cochran Show live on Tuesday. And boy, do we have a show in store for you. Now, I just have to hit send on I was doing a email message to Don Wilson. And Don Wilson is in LA and he's listening to the show. How is that possible? How does he get up this early and listen to my show? He's such a loyal fan. I love it. And I am attempting to ask him about being on the show tomorrow with me and us revisiting the story about Joe Esposito, which was Elvis's best friend, and he was his bodyguard, he was his confidant, and every time you see Elvis walking anywhere, Joe was right there next to him. And so something happened to the recording. It did not record. In fact, that whole day there wasn't a recording made. Something happened technically. The fault does not lie with Richard. But it didn't happen, so we're going to try and recreate that because the Esposito family would love to hear the show, and they were looking for it in the archive, and that's when we discovered. So that's what I'm so hopefully Don will hear this and respond to me. And now, you know what? I'm going to get to use the cough button. Okay, I'm so proud of myself. I haven't used that since we've had it, that new technology. So anyway, I just appreciate Don very much, and hopefully he will get back to me. Okay, Cindy, just getting ready to listen to your show. Okay, so he missed that. So hopefully I'm watching him on Facebook. And you know, guys, you can always come to my Facebook page, The Cindy Cochran Show, and you can interact with me, except sometimes I have trouble walking and chewing gum at the same time. And this is kind of the same way when I look down and I see someone's written a message, I start reading it and I'll quit talking. And you're supposed to keep talking, read it, absorb it. And I'm a mom. I should be able to do this. Where you can be hitting the kids in the back seat for doing something wrong, talking to someone on the phone and putting your mascara on. I know how to do that kind of stuff. And so I don't understand why this messes me up so bad. I'm going to play the age card. Anyway, but today, as you saw if you looked at my Facebook page this morning to see what was going to happen, I announced that the Mark Hayter was going to be on my show, and I am so excited that he is sitting right across from me. This is like old times. Good morning, Mark.
It's not like old times because I would have interrupted you 100 times during that. I want to say hi, Don Nelson, if you're listening.
Don Wilson.
And is it Don Wilson?
Don Wilson from L.A., not Don Nelson from Channel 13.
That's who I was saying. I don't know
what
Don
you're thinking. No, I don't think you. I think I met him and we started talking after you started your show with Kay, the Hangin with the Hayters.
Oh, okay. That's right. I am so sorry, Don Wilson. I know I'd be so happy if I could meet. Or is it Williams?
I need to show. Well, I got to show you the pictures he sent me that said, "Are you this Cindy Cochran?" I was standing next to him. I had my arm around him, and which is Channel 13. I was pregnant with Chad, and so I responded back, "Yes." Were you an intern? He says, "No, I was a guest on the Good Morning Houston show because he'd received the last letter that Elvis had written, and so that people found out that he had been mentored by Elvis, and Elvis kind of took him under his wing after all his family was killed in a car wreck, and so that's how." Yeah, we started talking.
Guy in L.A. right now.
Right. That's right. Yeah.
I had to do the sneeze mic, Cindy. You couldn't hear me, but
no, it didn't. It worked. It really worked.
Good.
But I can't tell you how many times I have coughed and and all kinds of stuff, and couldn't get to that button at the same time. So
anyway, y'all can't tell.
I'm very
out there,
proud.
But Cindy and I are hugging. We haven't been.
Yeah, we haven't seen each other wearing the same outfit. This is my New Year's.
I'm just letting you know they probably can't see this.
Right.
Than later.
You'll see it later. Yeah, you'll see
it
later, and how badly Mark lies.
Oh, man.
But Don, what I had talked about before you got on with with us and listening is that I want you to be on the show tomorrow if you can, and that because the lost episode of the Esposito story is gone. It wasn't not backed up, and so we've lost it. So I'm so sorry to say that. So if we could recreate that. Just text me and let me know if that's okay with you, and I can announce it to everybody. But right now, my very best friend in the whole world, Mark Hayter. Is that okay if I say that, Mark? Is that?
It is.
You think
but I
that's
thought it
too
was Don
presumptuous?
Nelson was your best
No,
friend.
Wilson. Don
No,
Wilson.
I thought Nelson was, though.
Well, Nelson, yeah, but I don't know if he remembers that he is my best friend. I don't know if he is. From Channel 13. We'll have to call him sometime. I'm going to just prank call him and say, hey, what's up, bud? And because I've wanted him to be on the show. This is like old times. Mark is trying to put his headset on, and he's got it all discombobulated, and Richard's over there helping him. You know, Richard, you're so sweet. That's sweet. Okay. Anyway, so I'm so glad that you're here, and that I can't believe it. It's like surreal that you're sitting across from me and talking. It's just so weird. You're here.
It seems like old times. And
it does.
You know, Cindy, I gotta say that
Say it.
It is. It's harder to do a 10 o'clock show. I'm so used to one day a week on
You wake up at
Wednesday at noon.
Yeah, 11:30. You wake up, slide out of bed, and come on down.
Well, I get up earlier, but I start preparing the show at that point. And with our show, I could just get up, read the newspaper, and then leave, and you and I would just start talking. And anyway,
that would be it.
Yeah, that's why I left. We were so unpopular because I wasn't preparing. No, I left because of the dadgum. We were doing 4 a week, and that was
4 days a week.
A stretch for me.
Yeah.
Now,
well, I consider you and Kay, your wife, beautiful wife Kay, as the spinoff from the Mark and Cindy
We're
show.
The Rhoda show.
Yeah, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You wrote us, and that's what. I'm so proud to know that you have spun off, and
we did,
and you can carry that 1 day a week. I am really proud of you.
No,
I know you have more in you than 1 day a week, but that's okay. You tease the people, and you know what? You do the right thing theatrically because you leave them wanting more. I give them more than they ever wanted, and they go like, "Shut up."
I disagree with that, but no, I wish we left people. I just hope we're leaving people. I mean,
I hope there are people out there to leave. Yeah, that's what I always hope. But
Cindy, isn't this situation better? The table's bigger.
It's a bigger table. You can hide more of yourself underneath it, and it's perfect. So
your hair looks nice.
Well, thank you. I just and look, I thought I was putting on lip. Like balm, but and I wasn't looking. It was kind of dark, and it.
I don't know if
it was red. It was like a lipstick instead of the lip chapstick stuff. It was lipstick. So I never wear lipstick. So it's not my lips are bleeding. It is just that I have some lipstick on this morning. So you should feel really. Pretty honored that I dressed up.
I think you've already licked off the lipstick. Yeah, but that's okay too.
Cheap lip balm. Okay, but anyway, I want to ask you something before we get into the meat of this, because I'm going to tease you guys just right up to the point of this is going to be a Linus Christmas, and Mark Hayter is a fabulous writer of in the Conroe Courier. He writes all these articles, keeps people laughing, crying, and everything. But people can't wait to read his article. And when I would go out in public with Mark, it was like being out with Madonna. Everybody would have to come up and say, Mark, I read your article. You're wonderful. And I'd say, well, what about me? And they wouldn't know. They don't know who you are, Cindy. It is Mark who is the star of this area.
That's an exaggeration. But, I mean, in the day, Cindy, it would have been the same thing, me going into Houston, if I could have... we could have gone somewhere. Been, oh my goodness, that's signing with Cindy. Here, sign this, Cindy.
Say, would you say? Well, it's like like you're a comedian. You're considered like a comedian and a funny guy. And so when you go places that people say, "Can you say something funny?" or they ask you to write something down that's funny for them, what do they do if you're a writer, a funny writer?
They really don't ask me to do anything funny. And Cindy, I've mentioned this before. What it is they say something insulting to me that's funny. And that's the deal with a person that's has a reputation, whether he is or not, of being humorous. It's wow, there's Mark. He can do it. I mean, he'll take anything, and he says funny stuff. So I'm going to say this, boy, you look stupid, stuff like that. And
Well, you're just a naturally funny guy.
I don't know what I am. Whatever it is, it's
It's those people that underneath are just, like crying and breaking inside, but they're funny on the outside, Mark. That's what's good about you.
well.
Is that you hide all that pain that you're
Exactly.
experiencing.
I am this
and you
close
just
from suicide.
I'm telling you.
A lot of people are.
That's terrible.
But Cindy,
That's
that is
terrible.
such a joke, and it is terrible. I
Shame
have
on you.
never been in a better place than I am now.
Well, look
And
at
I'm not
you.
just saying the studio. I'm
You
saying,
lost all this weight. You look so good. You've got a beautiful wife that loves you,
she
forever.
loves me.
And
But
no
let me
matter
say
what.
this about the weight thing, Cindy.
Yeah.
One thing about diets is that I'm finding out
Yeah.
is that you can lose a lot of weight, but then it's like forever. In other words, I'm slowly gaining it back to where I'm going to have to start diet. It's one of these things.
I was going to say that's not the right word because I lost like 5 pounds and I found 4 of them this week alone. So I
am going
know.
up, and then I'll fast or something, and I'll come down 5 pounds. I'll go up 5 pounds the next
Yeah.
day, and I'm not going to fast every other dang day.
No, they say you're supposed to weigh like every 3 days, not every day.
Exactly. But
It's frustrating.
Cindy, the
Yes.
thing is, it's like I say, it's continual. And whenever I finish my diet, I was saying, "Oh, it's over. I now get to eat stuff." And so I just overreacted in meals at night, stuff at night, and now I've got to not do that.
But you know what you can do? If
I'd
you
like
will
to hear
drink
this.
all this water.
Cindy.
No,
quit
no,
it.
wait.
Yeah, okay.
No, wait. You can maintain your weight and eat, just eat like you would regularly eat. I eat abnormally, though, because I eat so much stuff. And I have to drink so much water just to try and keep it within a 5 pound,
Yeah.
like I got down to this. Now I've got to work down to get 10 pounds more off. But the water is amazing. It's miraculous what the water will do for you.
And Cindy, if you combine water with prunes, I am a big prune eater, and sometimes it
Are
works.
you really?
A lot of times it does not. I have got a system that, folks, this is just unbelievable. This man's system, it defies everything
I love
else.
being with somebody that's more my age that we can talk about this stuff because all these young people I have on the show, they don't get it and they don't want to talk about, dysfunctional bowel movement or anything. They just don't want
it's
to talk
just
about it.
dysfunctional.
Yes, and so yes, sir. You have a
No,
tip?
I don't get it.
Do you have advice?
I was going to say this.
Is he wrapping me up?
Yeah, I'm
Raz, okay. That just flew by. Now
It
we're going to
did,
get
I know.
back. We're going to start talking more about
constipation.
yeah,
No, I don't
constipation.
know. Let's don't do that.
Oh, it's terrible. The Mark and Cindy Show. No, the Cindy Cochran Show. We'll be right back. It's always real reality radio.
Remember, live is better. And if you can, join me Monday through Friday at 10 a.m. and interact live on the show through my Facebook page. Let's get your morning started.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show. Yes, we are. And it's so true. You ain't heard nothing yet because we have Mark Hayter on. If you're just joining us, and you'll go like, wait a minute, this sounds weird. Is this like an old pre-recorded show? Is that what it is? No, we are live, and we're with Mark Hayter. Mark is the one that really drove that show, the Mark and Cindy Show, and I've had to hold up
Down the flusher.
hold up that side of it. Mark, I'm just so happy that you're here, and it's so much fun to be able to banter with you, and whether it's discussing stuff or whatever, it's fun to have you here. So I appreciate your time because I know tomorrow at 12:00 it's Hanging with the Hayters, and you have your wonderful, fabulously funny sister Jill's going to be with you.
Jill's going to be
I love
there.
Jill.
I was with her day before yesterday.
Yeah.
We were watching Alone. Do you ever watch Alone?
No.
The deals where the people are on the island and they're starving. Anyway.
So
No,
like
because
Naked and Afraid?
No. That's not. They're fully clothed. In fact, they have to be because it's really cold out there. But they've been putting them on Vancouver to see how long, 10 different people, how long you can stay there. Just
See,
living off of the.
I always turn to that thinking I'm going to watch Macaulay Culkin, and
That's yeah,
so
Home
it messes me
This
up.
is Vancouver alone.
Yeah, so it doesn't make
My
any sense.
cousin did that.
Really? For how
Like,
long?
it was similar. He was a fishing guide up in Alaska, but you can only get to them through snowmobiles. So it was like a 30, 45-minute snowmobile ride to where each
Yeah.
fishing guide was. Like he lived alone, and like every other week they would come in and he would take someone out for like 3 days straight, and they would catch
Serious
huge
stuff.
fish. But I mean, that's what he wanted to do for a year. He wanted to take a sabbatical on life.
So I'm sitting at the Honeybee Ham place. How's that for transition? I'm sitting at Honeybee Ham, and Mark had sent me a text saying, I might as well send this to you now. I'm probably, forget about it later. So here's a copy of the Conroe Courier's article, my Christmas story. And I wrote a short story, and so I thought, okay, and and you get a text like that, you go like, I got to find a place or a time when I can sit down and be able to read this. So I'm at the Honeybee Ham. I just ordered one of their hamburgers. Anybody that's ever, been there, it is an experience. Their hamburgers
bet.
are just
You get the
amazing.
jalapeno bun?
Oh, of course not. No, that's
don't
too
either.
hot. No, I don't want anything to distract from what inside of it. It is just amazing hamburger. So I get all ready and I'm going to read this story, and I'm seeing this, it's a little short story. I think, oh, this is going to be real cute, and I'll read this and I'll finish my hamburger. So I start reading it, and I can't put down my phone. I guess that's what you say. I couldn't put the book down. I couldn't put my phone down, and I'm just keep sliding up this amazing, amazing story, and I'm thinking it's getting ready to be one thing. He's got so many twists in this, and it is just great. But it comes to a part that I am so emotional. I don't know whether it's just because I'd been at Walmart for 2 hours trying to get through all that, but this was it was amazing, amazing time. And so I read it. I cried. The owner of the little restaurant there comes over and says, "Is everything okay? Are you okay?" I went, "Yes, I'm reading this really funny story." And it's, and I said, "Yeah, I'm fine." But, so I just kept thinking, Mark has got to come on my show, just as a goodwill thing and to promote his own show. But he's got to come on and read this to me. Now, I asked him, had he read it on the air? And he said, no, Kay read it on the air. Now, that would have been wonderful. But I wanted to have the guy that wrote it, and that this needed to be fleshed out for a whole book, and it needed to be, on tape. Read on tape. Do you hear that? It needs to be on CD and you reading it. So I'm going to get this exclusive from Mark Hayter, the author of A Linus Christmas. Now, tell me how it should be titled. What is your title for it?
The title is.
I think I got it wrong.
Linus, I know this, Cindy. Behold, a
See,
Linus
I
Christmas.
left Behold out. I knew I left something out. I got Linus in there. It's Christmas
When
story.
Linus
So.
is saying, and behold.
And behold.
He says it's so sweet. Behold.
Yes. And that was, okay, so that's what you think it's about. But it is about the most beautiful, you're not expecting this relationship to happen. It was amazing. How did you come up with this? Don't give anything away before you read it, but how did you come up with this idea?
It's weird, Cindy, and I pray before I do any article, and I
love that.
before this. I had ideas, and I sat down, and there's just something about them. I said, no, I've written 20-something of these things, and it's like everything, the theme is, going back, and everything ends happy, and all of this stuff, and, and I just sit there, and all of a sudden, it just hit me. The idea of a play, a young man being, on a high school deal hit me, and then I started writing, and it sounds weird. I can't take credit for it. I really can't. I'm not. When it's over and I read it, I say, "That's great." I say, "God, you did a good job here on this one."
Right.
And the times.
Well, when you
they
open
are-
yourself up like that and say, okay, I want to do a message, and I would like it to be spiritually uplifting and help somebody. So I need your help. God,
Without
that's great.
slapping somebody over the head.
Yeah,
with a Bible
yeah.
or
No,
something.
it was, but it had everything in it. It had the, it was funny, but when y'all get to this part, it's going to happen, and we're going to have him read it in the next segment.
I
So
thought you were going to say, and I started crying because you had the newspaper, because I turned the page and saw how much more I had to go. It was a long, short story.
absolutely not.
It was-
You know what? It was kind of like I've gone in and see movies that I just love. These movies that were so good, and I just kept. I said, please don't be over. Please keep going, because this is so good, and I'm enjoying my hot dog and my butter popcorn. Just don't stop it.
No
and
Country
then
for Old Men. Please don't stop it and just turn
Yeah.
the screen black.
right, I just wanted to go on and on, and I walk out, and I'm so jealous for the people that are waiting to see it, that they haven't experienced this yet. So that's kind of how I felt about your article.
Well,
I wanted
that
it
is a
to
beautiful
go
thing
on.
To say. I am
And-
that way with so many TV shows.
Yeah, so you did a fabulous job. So I'm excited for people to get to hear it and for you to read it. And and we're going to do that the next segment, as I said. But I wanted to ask Mark, like Christmas has just happened. Christmas is over. That 24-hour period that just sometimes just breaks people, breaks families, breaks, all the emotion. And I think it is because of the stress of going out, standing in the lines. But people were nicer for some reason this year. People were saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Excuse me." It seemed like the last year that I went out, people were rude. There's a panic part. It may be a window I hit, and people were a little better. But it was just the long lines when you've done all this walking around and getting stuff, putting in your basket, or carrying them through the mall or whatever, and then you get to the line that you've got to stand in to pay for this. I've done enough suffering. Now I've got to pay for the suffering I just did. It just doesn't make sense. And I think that I understand why violence happens during that time. I really do understand that. I understand the depression people go through. And because it forces you to come to the realization that some people that have been in your life are not there for this, and you're not going to be able to see them ever again and all that. And so I kept telling, my family, it's 24 hours. It's 24 hours. And if we concentrate on what, Christmas was designed for us to remember and go back to and all that, maybe we'd be better. But the stores, did you go out and shop?
I did. But we went to the mall just not to buy anything, but just to have fun. But this was a week before. But Cindy, I got out Friday. I just wanted to go to HEB before Christmas. Was anybody out in the town? Dick, were you?
Yes,
Yeah, I
of
was
course.
here on Christmas Day.
Holy cow!
Yes.
That was worse than any Black whatever Friday.
That's right.
I could not get it. I finally turned into HEB, and this is the one on 336
Right.
South,
Right.
West. Yeah. And I could not, I mean, I got in a line of traffic, and people were going down the aisles, and when someone saw someone just getting in their car, they would stop right there. I'm
No
behind
matter
them.
what.
All of God's children are behind them, and they're waiting 5 minutes for this person to take off. Cindy, I don't wait well. I really don't.
No, that's what I'm talking about. And when you get in, you mad buy instead of happy buy. It's mad buying, and you're just like it's revenge buying or something.
I'm going to write
But
that down, bad buy. That's
I-
what
Well,
I do.
that's
I
why
went to-
you do the curb pickup.
Curb pickup?
Curb pickup at participating HEBs. They have a curb pickup service, so you can order your stuff and go to the curb and pick it up.
Kroger has that too.
And Kroger has it, and then Rice Epicurean, you can actually order everything online and
Son of
go
a
and pick it up in the store. But that's in Houston, though. But yeah, no, it's definitely something I like because going to the grocery store, there's probably like twice in the year I enjoy going to the grocery store, but the other times I just want to get in and out. I know what I
love
want.
it.
Well, no, old Cindy, we know you live there.
I love grocery shopping. But I'll tell you what, I went to Walmart, and I was walking up to the gate where where the garden thing is, and because I got a really good parking place. And so I was walking down the gate, and the guy goes, "Just calm down, be patient, everything's going to be okay."
Did he ring the
And I
bell in your
said,
face?
No, is that what you've been telling everybody? He says, yes, because it's crazy in there. I'm just telling you, please calm down. So I walked in, and I must have gotten into the dazed and confused people because they were checking out where I walked through. And it was like, this is it. I will never come back to a store again. But that's what happens, you know. It was happy Christmas time, but people were panic buying because they didn't think they got enough stuff. And I understood that because that's exactly what I was doing in there, because I didn't feel like I had enough for the kids. So, we'll discuss this probably throughout the year and try and remember and appreciate everything you got for Christmas. Listen, Mark Hayter's coming back, and he's going to read to us, Behold, a Linus Christmas, okay? Guys, he's going to read it to us. Get ready, sit back, get your cocoa, your coffee, and you're listening to Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show, Real Reality Radio.
Hi, this is Cindy. Thank you for taking the time to snuggle up with a good computer and a latte grande and listen to the Cindy Cochran Show, having fun with the world's news and local happenings in your own backyard.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the first daily talk show serving Montgomery County.
And we're back on the Cindy Cochran Show, and oh yeah, this is my belated Christmas present, my New Year's Eve, not resolution, but it's also a gift to you, is Mark Hayter. Mark Hayter, author, comedian, actor, winner of all kind of awards. This is an honor to have you, Mark, and he's getting ready to read this amazing story. So let's just go back in time a little bit. And Mark's going to read for us. And here it comes. Behold, a Linus Christmas. Mark Hayter.
Of all the stupid ideas that ever surfaced in the mind of a high school drama teacher, Miss Pinckney managed to conjure the stupidest of all. Oddly enough, the ones who witnessed the implementation of her idea thought it sheer genius. They were allowed that slanted viewpoint because they merely witnessed what happened and were not directly involved. In December of 1981, Miss Barbara Pinckney was in charge of the performances of the Central High School's Christmas pageant. The choir, the orchestra, the dancers, and the drama students who were performing a spoof on A Charlie Brown Christmas. Miss Pinckney was responsible for directing the whole thing. The production was in the last 2 weeks of rehearsal when Miss Pinckney got the ridiculous notion to find a little kid who would walk on stage at the end of the show and deliver the lines that Charlie Brown's friend Linus delivered in A Charlie Brown Christmas. You know, the part where Linus explains what Christmas is all about. Behold, I bring you good tidings. This is from Luke 2:8-14. Miss Pinckney contacted Mrs. Selma Page, the music teacher at Sutton Elementary, in hope of locating a gifted, cute-looking first or second grader who might be able to convincingly portray Linus. Right off the bat, Mrs. Page ruled out the possibility of any first grader being suitable. The first graders of 81 and 82 were an odd lot. However, Mrs. Page knew of a pleasant and teachable second grader who might be able to do the job. It certainly didn't hurt that the kid had a voice that could be mistaken for cuteness. The kid was David Weller. That'd be me. I was the poor sap pegged to play the part of Linus. And you want to know the craziest thing about it? I actually agreed to do it. My mother was all gaga over the idea. Her son had been selected for the entire field of elementary students to be in a high school play. My daddy was more realistic. You sure you'll want to do this, son? Look, your mother and me won't feel bad at all if you decide to pull out of this. Lance, my big brother, did nothing but joke about the thought of me performing on a stage in front of high school students, in front of anyone for that matter. Lance was a junior at Central High and was obviously afraid I'd botched the whole scene and people would poke fun at him for having such a stupid brother. It took me a week to memorize the Bible passage Linus delivered. I spent the next week trying to get my voice right. Since Linus was a cartoon figure, the kid who dubbed his voice was reading the lines. I had to memorize the words, and if I messed up on stage, Mom would cry and Lance would kill me. Miss Pinckney gave Mom a picture of Linus wearing a green knitted sock cap and holding onto a blue small blanket. Mom matched the clothing as best she could. I must admit that I became one with Linus. I was allowed to skip school for 3 afternoons so Mom could drive me over to Central High to rehearse in front of Miss Pinckney. She told me to quit trying to sound cute, that my natural voice was perfect. She demonstrated some hand gestures I might use as I spoke my lines. I am here to tell you that it's impossible to gesture properly while clutching a blue blanket. Miss Pinckney even added lines. I was supposed to walk to the center of the stage. When I got to the center of the stage, I was supposed to say, "Lights, please." 2 new words I had to remember. After delivering all my lines, I was supposed to wait for 2 more seconds and then say, "And that's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown." Can you believe that? At the last moment, the woman is throwing extra stuff at me. The stupid blanket alone was going to drive me nuts. Well, at 10:47 Friday morning, the curtain came down after the last performance to the applause from the packed auditorium of high school students. Suddenly, the lights were dimmed to dark. That caught the kids off guard. Some of them started making ghost sound. Ooh. At that moment, Miss Pinckney coaxed me onto the stage. I had no idea it was going to be that dark. She should have rehearsed me for that. The audience, spying a small, dark shadow approaching center stage, got quiet. All that could be heard was my heart beating. I stood there for a few seconds. At one point, I could hear Miss Pinckney off stage saying, "Psst." I had no idea what I was supposed to say. Finally, Miss Pinckney gave up on the thought of me saying, "Lights, please." Suddenly, she spotlit me. Wham! There I was, a frozen kid wearing a green sock hat, clutching a blue blanket and shaking like a chihuahua locked in a fridge. I would have swallowed real hard, but had I managed to find the spit. I don't know how long I stood mute. I couldn't move. I later realized that the reason I couldn't swallow was because all my saliva had turned to tears and was dispatched to my eyes. I can't be certain I was crying. Tears were just streaming down my cheeks, but I wasn't sobbing or anything. Some little pockets of laughter began to filter through the audience. Off stage, I heard Miss Pinckney loudly whisper, "And there we're in the same country." Nothing. I had nothing. At the age of 7, I was experiencing the 5th level of hell. I could hear Miss Pinckney's footsteps as she approached center stage. She decided to stop after noticing a figure walking up the aisle, stage right. It was later that I learned stage lingo, stage right. Anyway, the person climbed the steps to the stage and entered the circle of light that held me captive. Lance put his hand on my shoulder, drew me to his side, and whispered, "Excuse me, it's okay, Muggs." He said to the audience, "If you had any idea how many times I heard my kid brother deliver these lines, it'd make you freak." The audience laughed, a rather awkward laugh. I could say the lines to you right now, but I wouldn't sound near as good. My brother is now experiencing a moment that will live through infamy. I remember the word infamy because of the great job Mr. Delaney did telling us about Pearl Harbor last week. December 7th, a date that will live in infamy. Thanks, Mr. Delaney. There were a few hoots from the crowd. Lance looked down at me and said, loud enough for all to hear, "I hope you get Mr. Delaney when you get to high school, David. He's cool and might give me extra credit for just saying so." The audience laugh was more genuine that time. There was even a few whoop whoops. Lance continued, "All in all, I think this year's Christmas play was pretty good, don't you? Everyone cheered. Better than last year when Reggie did that odd elf routine. Stand up, Reggie, you crazy man." The auditorium lights came up as Reggie stood to the cheers of his classmates. "That's enough. Sit down, Reggie." Yep, it was a good Christmas performance. Christmas. That's something that is confusing as all get out to me. It's one odd story. You've got these, 3 wise men. What's that all about? Guys riding around on camels, stopping every once in a while to say something smart? Laughter. Following a star? How do you follow a star? If you haven't noticed, they're slow. More laughter. Lance was killing them. A barn? A manger? And swaddling clothes? I'm not sure about the manger, but I have absolutely no idea what swaddling clothes are. Again with the laughter. What's frankincense? And myrrh? Who gives a baby myrrh? But let's face it, it's all tied to the story about Christmas, the story none of us can really understand, and many of us don't even believe. Some of you may remember Mrs. Crane telling us in English literature class that everybody believes in something, even if you believe in nothing. That's something. Mrs. Crane, I understood that for, 2 seconds. But I'm sure it applies to something because, let's face it, everything applies to something, even nothing. More laughter. I've got to tell you, though, there is one thing I certainly believe. In fact, I know it. My kid brother nailed his lines at home. I'm just sorry you didn't get a chance to hear him deliver them. But it's no big deal to me. This little guy right here is my brother, and he could start slobbering and mooing like a cow, and I'd still love him. So would our mom and dad, and more importantly, I know that the person that Christmas is all about would love him no matter what he did. That's what I believe. You would not believe the applause Lance got for saying that, from high school students no less. Soon everyone was standing. Lance took my hand and said, "Come on, Muggs, showtime's over." He started to escort me off the stage, but I asked him if I could try again to say my lines. He looked stage left to Miss Pinckney. She smiled big and nodded. Lance said, "Go for it." Everyone sat back down. I looked at Miss Pinckney and pointed to the lights. She stepped off stage and dimmed the lights to dark. After a brief pause, I said, "Lights, please." The audience applauded as the spotlight hit me. After a brief pause, I spoke the words in my best Linus voice. "And there were in the same country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flocks by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon them, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them, and they were sore afraid. And the angel said unto them, Fear not, for behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which I shall be to all people. For unto you is born this day in the city of David a Savior, which is Christ the Lord. And this shall be a sign unto you. Ye shall find the babe wrapped in swaddling clothes, lying in a manger." And suddenly there was with the angel a multitude of the heavenly hosts, praising God and saying, "Glory to God in the highest, and on earth peace, goodwill toward men." I paused for a full 4 seconds before ending. "That's what Christmas is all about, Charlie Brown." Again, everyone stood up cheering. The curtain opened, and all the cast and people in the choir and orchestra came out and started waving and yelling. The girls started hugging me, and the guys were trying to give high fives when they weren't trying to get hugs from the girls. The performance later that night, delivered to the parents, got off without a hitch. You're not going to believe it, but Miss Pinckney wanted me to pretend to forget my lines so Lance could come out again and spike up the ending. I had no desire to do that. Lance told Miss Pinckney that the words just came to him for one moment and that he couldn't reenact the scene even if he wanted to. It was indeed the proudest of moments for me. Not for my part of the event, you understand. It was what Lance did, what he said. I was so proud of my big brother. I still am. This Sunday, all of the Weller family is meeting at Mom's and Dad's for Christmas. At some point, Lance and I will recite Linus's lines. It's somehow become a family tradition. You know how that goes. By the way, Merry Christmas from all the Hayters, and peace on earth, goodwill toward men. And Merry Christmas from Cindy Cochran to a post-Merry Christmas. Anyway.
That was
I got the call.
fabulous.
Cindy, you're very sweet.
Oh,
Thank you for letting me do
no.
that. Self-promotion is always wonderful.
It is. There's never too much of it, but I just wanted that on record, and I'm glad now you have it in Kay Hayter's voice and in Mark Hayter's voice that you can listen to and go to the archives of Hang with the Hayters, or go to the archives of the Cindy Cochran Show, which will be right back after this. Don't go away. Real Reality Radio.
The Cindy Cochran Show. You ain't heard nothing yet.
Hi, this is Cindy Cochran, and just want to thank you for listening. And remember, I'm live Monday through Friday at 10 a.m., and you can interact with the show through my Facebook page, The Cindy Cochran Show. It's Real Reality Radio. Hey, give your ears a treat.
The Cindy Cochran Show, the most opinionated talk show on radio.
And you're back on the Cindy Cochran Show, and what an experience. If you missed the first part of the show, please remember that you can go to my Facebook within about 48 hours. We'll try and have this up so that if you want to listen to Mark and Mark's rendition of his Behold a Linus Christmas story. Not story, but a Linus Christmas. I got to get that right. And anyway, it's just a classic. And he did it. He wrote it. And it's not some something that happened to him. It's something that came to him, and he put this down, and it was perfect. So I thank you so much for doing that,
Very sweet,
Mark.
Cindy. Thank you for asking.
Yes, and remember that Mark and his lovely wife Kay and his sister Jill will be on tomorrow at 12:00, and tomorrow I will be here, and Don Wilson has said yes, he can be here, and we will recreate the Joe Esposito story, and because his family wanted to hear this, they just lost him. He passed away a few weeks ago, and so that we were doing a tribute to him and talking about him and letting Don tell stories about him and Elvis, and what a very close friend to Elvis he was, and being bodyguard and confidant and all that we talked about. So there are some good stories, and Don is the treasurer of so many of those stories, and will talk to us about that. Tomorrow he will be with us. We'll do that live, and we're going to get this year started off right, aren't we, Mark?
We're going to have to, Cindy, and I think it's. I started to say it's starting off good now, but it's not even the new year yet. But anyway, yeah, like always, I have big hopes for stuff. But now it's even if it doesn't get better, right now it's good. Cindy.
It's okay.
It's okay.
It's that's what I always we get up to the New Year's resolutions and all that, and I think, no, wait a minute, who decided that day is when we have to start over again? And because every day you have a chance to start over again, and make that day what you want it to be, and make you who you want to be. It's just like on Mondays, on our Mondays, we usually have the Whodunit series on Monday. But I try and start that off with, like, it is Monday, and a lot of people hate Mondays. They dread Mondays because they had such a fun weekend and they got rest and sleep and all. But that Monday is the day that, because people have such short memories about things that have gone on the week before, that maybe you can reinvent yourself. Maybe you can go to work happy, and maybe you can go to work, looking everybody in the eye, and it being a fun day, and not dread the Monday, but it's your day to start over. So I am very thankful for that gift that we have, that we can do that every single day. And I was just so happy when I woke up. It was just so much fun knowing I was going to see Mark and hear this and let you hear this. And so I appreciate you, Mark.
Well, it's like old times. It's just like we've always been doing this. I don't know
Yeah,
what it is.
yeah. Hadn't even stopped. It was funny because when we did the Mark and Cindy show, and those are still archived, right? You can still go to YouTube, and
I've lost all my photographs, but yes.
you can look up the Mark and Cindy show. It was funny because when I first started doing the Cindy Cochran show, I could not get that out of my head because for how many, it was like almost 2 years of saying, "Good morning, the Mark and Cindy show." But it's been great, and sometimes you just have to let it go, and then I accept the fact that you and Kay are doing a great job on your show, and that
You're very kind.
you're
It's
wonderful.
Once a week, that's so much easier.
Yeah, than
what
every
you
single
do.
day.
But it's great that you can do it.
Well,
And all the
is
support you get at home, I'm sure, it's just wonderful.
once in a while, and now that especially we're on FM, that Sam gets in the car, and I've put all his stations on this 104.5 because we're in Willis, and then 106.1, so that he can never miss me while I'm gone and know what I'm doing and what I'm saying. And except one day, he was supposed to talk to me about deer hunting, and they left early, so he couldn't do it. So I did, from my point of view, his going to deer hunting. And I think he would have wished he had stayed.
Yeah,
he should have stayed home.
May I say this one thing?
Yes, of course.
A shout out to Samuel and little Cindy. I miss you guys so much. I
Oh.
saw the hill over there where they had snow
Yes,
at once, and we
yes.
went over there and slid.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I want you to think that Uncle Mark's thinking of you, and has for a long time. Good.
Well, I'm going to have to play that to them, let them hear that on the archive, because they're going to be so mad when I go home and wake them up. They're my grandchildren. And I'll wake them up and say, "You missed Mark because y'all stayed up till 3 o'clock in the morning. So sorry. I wasn't going to wake y'all up and drag you out of bed for
I
that."
was up late too.
Well, they've been enjoying their Christmas holidays, and I'm sure all the families have been, and school starts back January 2nd. They go back to that. And so it's back to getting up early and stuff, but it's okay. But tomorrow we'll be here live. again at 10 to 11. The Cindy Cochran Show is Monday through Friday, 10 to 11. Remember that you can Facebook me. Have any questions? Have any suggestions? Have any sponsors? Let me know. It'll be great. So thank you. And tomorrow I'll see you tomorrow, Don. He's listening in LA right now. Don, we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you guys so much. And if I don't get to, talk to you till then, have a happy new year. Make it a happy new year. You make it. You take control of it. Love you guys. The Cindy Cochran Show. Real reality radio.
Thanks for checking out this production on Lone Star Community Radio, Montgomery County's radio station. For more information on this show and other shows on Lone Star, check us out online at irlonestar.com. If you're interested in sponsoring a program on Lone Star Community Radio and reaching the local audience of Montgomery County on FM, internet, and TV media, please call 936-647-5747 or contact us online at irlonestar.com. This recording is a Lone Star Community Radio production, produced by the show host and Dick Schisler of Lone Star Community Radio. Interested in volunteering as a music DJ or starting your own talk show? Contact Dick Schisler at dick@irlonestar.com or by phone at 936-647-5747.